Okay, so I've had a little think, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to carry on turfing. I've got a nice edge of the turf, so obviously the first thing I've got to bear in mind is to make sure that I've got a brick pattern. So as you remember, I had to cut this bit off. So I think what I'll do is I'll just start the edge of the turf there, and then hopefully it will be finishing about here, so that we're not having that join and this turf's join. What we're trying to do is minimize those joints, so if anything was to shrink, you don't get a bigger area, so we're trying to minimize that. So I'll just get my next turf and I'm going to start it off the edge. So as you can see, what I'm going to have to do for the last bit, just going to have to cut in use half a turf, and we'll cut it in as we need to down there. So I'll just continue now working down this edge. Just as a little side note, if you've got more than one board, obviously the more boards you've got the better, so it means you don't have to keep lifting and moving, putting yourself at more risk of damaging your back. So if you can get more boards, obviously we've got the one, it's what we were given to work with, so it just means that you've got to keep moving it around a little more.
leave that one for the minute because I think that, unless I can get a, well, like I did at the other end, I'll probably leave that one. I'll go with this one. Okay, so from the last one you can see that I cut it with the penknife. So this time I'm going to have a go with the edging iron, Half Moon. So that's probably not the straightest bit of the board that I've got. Obviously, as sharp as a turfing iron that you can get, the better. As you can see, that went through that quite nicely. What you don't want is a blunt edge, so it tears the turf, so it goes through it nice and easily. So obviously we've got a bit of a tree root there. I don't have anything to be able to cut that out. I don't think my penknife would go through it. So we just make it nice and tidy. Okay. Excellent, so that's that second row of turfing. So as you can see now, we're just left with this little strip of turf. So I think my plan of action is going to be to use a whole turf, lay it in, whatever's overlapped, I'm going to use the board to cut down so that we then can use the other half of the turf in the next bit. So yeah, that's, we'll move on to that next.